What's going on, everyone? It's Justin, aka Straight Hacks here, and we are starting another new draft league. Outside of the SDA, we are also participating in the Stealth Eviolites Draft League. This is an NFE or not fully evolved league, meaning we're going to be using Pokemon that are not their final forms. We'll get into some of the rules here in a second, and our second new league that we will be participating in. So this draft league had a tier system as opposed to just straight points. So we had to draft one tier one, one tier two tier threes, a tier four, and a tier five, as well as four free picks totaling 200 points. Other rules were each coach will have two Terra captains totaling no more than 120 points and must be tier 3 or below. There will be no limit on the typings of the Terra captains, meaning it's Omni Terra. Dry Pass only, meaning no passing stats or substitutes. Sleep clauses in effect, meaning only one Pokemon at a time can be put to sleep on your opponent's team. Evasion, boosting, and accuracy lowering moves and abilities and items are all banned. King's Rock is banned. Oko moves are banned. And because it's an NFE league, there's a limit of 2 Eviolites per team. Now that we've gone over a couple of the rules, let's go over what we picked. So our first round pick was Magmar. You can see 65 HP, 95 attack, 57 defense, 100 special attack, 85 special defense, and 93 speed. The abilities of Flame Body and Vital Spirit. Magmar is a really strong Pokemon in this type of league. It's one of the strongest Pokemon allowed. That's why it was in Tier 1. 100 special attack, 95 attack, 93 speed are much higher than a lot of what you're going to see in this league. And it's one of my favorite Pokemon to use in draft in terms of lower tier. So I decided to draft it as our first overall pick. Our second overall pick comes with a bit of controversy. Um, what happened was Dusclops ended up being in tier 3 because somebody made a typo when they were trying to put Duskull, but I was unaware of that, and I saw it in tier 3, so I drafted it. And because tier 3s and lower could be Terra Captains, I was going to make this a Terra Captain. However, I talked to some of the people who run the league, and they pretty much gave me two options. It was get rid of the Dusclops because it wasn't supposed to be in the first place, or because they understand that I picked it second round and built my team around it. I can keep it. However, it's not allowed to use an Eviolite and it's not allowed to Terra, which I was okay with. I mean, it was just something that we ended up agreeing on. I said that was okay. I don't think it's necessary that it needs to Terra, and I don't think it really needs an Eviolite with 130 in both defense and special defense. So we're going to be using Dusclops this season with no Terra and no Eviolite. Now, that being said, you can see the 40 HP with 70 attack, 130 defense, 60 special attack, 130 special defense, and 25 speed is really good. Even with no Eviolite, even with no Terra, it's just going to be a really good team member. Pressure and Frisk, the two abilities it gets. Um, Pressure could be, I guess, useful if we're running sets where we're trying to do more stall, substitute, toxic, that kind of thing. Whereas Frisk will probably be something if I'm not doing that, just to see what items my opponent has. So that will be what Dusclops will be. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to Terra it, but I don't think it's really necessary. No Eviolite is perfectly fine in a Pokemon with this high defense and special defense at this level. Our third round pick was our second tier 1. So this one we chose with points, meaning we used 100 of our 200 points to draft Dunsparce. Dunsparce with 100 HP, 70 attack, 70 defense, 65 special attack, 65 special defense, and 45 speed. The ability is Serene Grace, which doubled the chance of a move's secondary effect activating. Runaway, which is not useful in battle. And Rattled, which raises speed by one stage if you're hit by a bug or ghost type move or intimidated. Dunsparce can use Eviolite and is a very good not fully evolved Pokemon now, especially because of Eviolite. So we're gonna try to make the best use of it. Of course, it can be in this league kind of league. You can make it very offensive with 70 attack, 65 special attack, and still have good bulk with 100 HP, 70 defense, 65 special defense compared to a lot of things because this is a lower, these are like not fully evolved mons. Things that are like in their second stage, things in the first stage, and just things that are not very strong in general. So I think Dunsparce is going to do really well here. Our fourth round pick and our first Terra Captain was Cufant. with 72 HP, 80 attack, 49 defense, 40 special attack, 49 special defense, and 40 speed. The abilities Sheer Force and Heavy Metal. Sheer Force is going to be the big one here. It doubles or increases damage on moves that have a secondary effect by 30%, but removes their secondary effect. And on top of that, if we use a life orb, it doesn't do the recoil damage from the life orb if we use a move with a secondary effect. So this thing can hit really, really hard. The Terra, just in case we decide to maybe change up typings because we see that they have like fighting types, we can go Ghost Terra, something like that. We can go Ghost Terra to block a spin if we're a Stealth Rocker, those kind of things. So yeah, it's gonna be our first Terra in our our second tier 3 Pokemon. Our tier 2 in our next Pokemon here is Mienfoo. 45 HP, 85 attack, 50 defense, 55 special attack, 50 special defense, and 65 speed. With the abilities Inner Focus, Regenerator, and Reckless. I feel like the main one we're going to be running here is Regenerator, being able to switch out after maybe hitting something and taking a little bit of damage. We can switch out and get some HP back, or and I would say this thing's probably going to function quite like its evolved counterpart, Mienshao. Things like scarfs, things like bands, hitting really hard, getting out, getting some regenerator back if it needs to. And it's just going to be a really good pickup for us in our tier 2 of this draft. Our next pick was our tier 4, and that was Slowpoke. Slowpoke with 90 HP, 65 attack, which shocked me. I didn't know its attack was that high. 65 defense, only 40 special attack, which also shocked me a little bit. 40 special defense and 15 speed. Obviously, this thing is just a slower, bulkier mon. Another Pokemon with the Regenerator, where we can take some hits, switch out, teleport, get out, do things like that. Just overall bulk to help this team. And I feel in this type of league with not fully evolved mons, having stuff that can eat hits is actually really good because something like Slowpoke doesn't have a ton of attack or defense, or attack or special attack, but the other things don't have a ton of defense. So this thing is bulkier, can take hits, and still will deal relatively okay damage compared to like when you're using a Slowbro or Slowking. They might do okay damage, but their main role is bulk. So this main role is still going to be bulk, but because everything is such low stats, it could still be okay offensively if we need it to be. That was our tier 4 Slowpoke. Our next Pokemon is a tier 3 that we picked with points, and that would be Jigglypuff, and it's our other Terra Captain. 115 HP, 45 attack, 20 defense, 45 special attack, 25 special defense, and 20 speed. The abilities Q-Charm, Competitive Friend Guard. I feel Jigglypuff's main role here is as a wish passer. 115 HP wishes are really good for this level of competition. Not competition, but this level of Pokemon, the not fully evolved Pokemon, having such high HP and be able to spread wishes around to the team is going to make them recover a lot more HP compared to the higher tier Pokemon that have higher HP stats typically. But in this case, with things have such low HP, getting high HP wishes is going to be really, really helpful. And still having things like Stealth Rocks and things like that to support. I think Jigglypuff is going to be really good for us, and it's going to be our second and last Terra Captain. Next up, we have the first of our tier 5s, and that's Dratini. 41 HP, 61 attack, 45 defense, 50 special attack, 50 special defense, and 50 speed with the ability Shed Skin and Marble Scale. Dratini can actually do a lot of different things, Dragon Dance setup, but also play support like Thunder Wave and things like that. It can do different sets depending on what we're looking for, so I thought it was really versatile and worthy of a tier 5 pick. A tier 5 did not have a lot of great options, so this was the first one. Our second tier 5, because we picked Dunsparce and Jigglypuff, we had picked that was 160 of our points, meaning we could pick 2 tier 5s with our last 2 points, Ducklet and our last pick, but those are 20 points each, adding up to 200. First was Ducklet. Really, Ducklet's here because it learns Defog, But actually, it has some okay stats in 62 HP, 44 attack, 50 defense, 44 special attack, 50 special defense, and 65 speed. Not really anything useful in the abilities, but its main role is our main hazard removal and defog, and that's really what we're gonna have to be. Um, there's not a ton of options in tier 5. I just felt this was the best of the things that were remaining and something that helps with our hazard control. And finally, our last pick was Swinub. 50 HP, 50 attack, 40 defense, 30 special attack, 30 special defense, and 50 speed. The big one here is going to be Thick Fat. It's a very good ability, helps it become even more bulky, and still can hit relatively hard with 50 attack, and is faster than I thought with 50 speed. I doubt the tier 5s, all three of them, are going to see that much time in the field, but we'll see what we decide to do week by week. So yeah, that's going to be our team that we're going with for this league, the SEDL, the Stealth Eviolites Draft League. But on some other news, obviously this is our second draft league that we will be joining this week. So you can look out for week one's next week. Well, I believe week one of this will be next week. This will also be a Wi-Fi league, like the other one. I believe week one of SDA will go up the week after to give everybody time to edit and record their video, or record and edit their videos. But in terms of this, the SEDL this league, we're going to be doing actually a podcast that covers this league, things like uh, going over the teams, going over the matchups each week. And if you guys want to check that out, that will be going up sometime, hopefully this weekend. But otherwise, thank you very much for checking this out, and I'll see you guys for week one next week.